everyone. So Bishop Kukah says Nigeria is in a better place on security, even though he stressed that much more remains to be done. Uh, he said we've entered a lull, but threat isn't over yet. Catholic Bishop of Sokoto Diocese, Matthew Hassan Kukah, has said that Nigeria has entered a lull, a temporary period of reduced conflict and violence, but warned against assuming the country's insecurity woes are over, despite recent improvement in the fight against insurgency and banditry. Speaking in an in an interview with Arise News on Wednesday, the clergyman was responding to Bola Tinubu's Independence Day speech that asserted that the threat of insecurity in Nigeria was now over. Kukah, however, warned that such a conclusion could be premature. For me, I really would need to understand what is it about this insecurity that it's being said to be over or lessened or whatever. Do we have the name Boko Haram be as much threat as it was? No. Why? And there's a reason for it. Why? Because Boko Haram is no longer the monopolist of violence that it used to be in Nigeria. At one time in Nigeria, it was the main violence, meeting organization. So you had that Boko Haram, you heard them more. Now, that Boko Haram has gone on into fragmenting into different pieces, more pieces in different areas that have different names. We saw the Lakarua that started the other time in Sokoto State. We saw the new bunch of attacking Kwara State. So there's more insecurity now in terms of on the roads, in the houses, in the bushes, in the attack on towns, places like Katsina, Sokoto, Zamfara. They're really going, through so much. So when they talk about this whole insecurity has been reduced, I'm always wondering, what do they really mean by that? Because is it that because they don't hear the name Boko Haram as much as they used to hear them before? But of course, it's because they have fragmented into a whole lot of, other pieces. But anyway, Father Kukah went on to say, Bishop Kukah went on to say, nobody can say that the threat is over, he declared. We've entered a lull and major progress has been made. There's a substantial sense of law, but not that insecurity is over. Only yesterday, a young Fulani boy who is still being here said he had to climb a tree to call me. Let's appreciate the fact that we are in a fairly better place, but there's still a lot to be done. There's a lot of insecurity going on. There's a lot of, victims out there. And one of the things also that has been happening is that there seems to be a media blackout on this issue. So if you find that most of these issues are not being reported, and as the issues are not being reported, it seems as if they're going to a place where they're thinking that, oh, if you don't talk about it, then probably as whether sooner or later the whole thing will fade away. He explained the bishop stressed that insecurity in Nigeria is far more complex than the popular, focus on guns and violence, describing it as the conduct of deeper structural decay. What we are facing in insecurity, he said, is actually evidence of a rot that crept into this country over a pretty long period of time. It isn't easy to think of what kind of roadmap we can create for the future. He explained, we have not seriously understood the context of what we call banditry and insecurity. What we call insecurity is many narratives put together. It is not just about guns and bullets. We have militarized the conversation, he said, where we think of insecurity as the return of quietness after the shooting, but it's as a much more complex phenomenon than that. The bishop also called for collective responsibility, stressing that governance cannot be left solely in the hands of government. Whenever we find ourselves, governance is about mending, fixing, and being on the road. We should collectively assign ourselves responsibilities. Let's reduce pressure on just looking at the government. So this is the part where we ask, how do we assign these responsibilities to us? Part of the things that citizens are supposed to do is to make demands. And wherever citizens in Nigeria are making demands, this same government, especially this illegitimate government, goes after them, shoots them, kill them, maim them, do all sorts of things to them. So in what way are the citizens supposed to do anything? Right now, like the Hausa proverb we say, they're the ones holding the knife and the meat. They have everything, all the four aces, they own all the four aces, and they're doing whatever it is that they want to. So at this stage, citizens are pretty much helpless. Whenever citizens do try to talk, these people oppress, suppress, and bully them. Let's reduce pressure on just looking at the government. Bishop Kukah said, let's think of our personal responsibility. Governance is not just what government does for us. They can only create opportunities for us in what we want to do. Nobody is asking the government to give handout to anybody. Nobody is asking the government to dash them something. All they're asking for them is to give enabling environments for citizens to thrive on their own, and also for them to judiciously use the resources that are entrenched on them. Let's not forget that people gave up of their sovereignty, for their welfare to be taken care of, and for them to have security, for them, for their lives to be protected, because the primary responsibility of government is the protection of lives and properties, and any government that cannot protect the lives and properties of its people is not fit to be called a government. He linked corruption and insecurity to societal complacency. There's too much focus on the government with little attention being paid to the fact that corruption wouldn't be where it is if Nigerians took certain responsibility. I'm thinking, what certain responsibilities are Nigeria supposed to take? The government is supposed to be the one doing everything. First of all, leading by example, ensuring that there's no corruption everywhere. It's not the one that you're being corrupt and they are telling citizens to do. What are citizens going to do? The buck stops at the table of the person that was elected. So sometimes it's not really about citizens, it's about those who have voted in, having the guts to do the right thing and having the character to ensure that the right thing is done, for the greater good. It is a collective effort, Bishop Kukah said. It is work in progress, he emphasized. But a lot of people were not happy with that whole, emphasis or whatever it is that he had said, because they all went what? So many, like Malaki Odotu is saying, what happened to this man? And uh, then someone else says, God forbid, this man is from the MBO. Ever since he was appointed chancellor by Tinubu, he changed. The same man that was berating Buhari on a daily basis. Nigeria's brand of Christianity is a joke, according to Onyeodo, man of peace. And then they now showed a particular tweet that Dele Farotimi had done. And I think I'm going to end today's video, this particular video, with this tweet. And it says, until you have survived Tinubu, do not presume to boast of your integrity. Thank you so much for watching. Bye.